Fairly recently, I was looking at a website, and it's a website I'm hitting, and it was a young, relatively young guy, I presume, with a relatively young child, comes on the website and says something along the lines of the following. Because they're talking about hitting instruction, and he says, well, I assume that, most all hitting instructors are kind of on the same page. They all kind of are working off the same basic information. They all kind of have the same basic understanding of the swing, and, choosing a hitting instructor is a matter of, kind of a style or this person's temperament in terms of an instructor, or, bottom line, he's basically assuming that the majority of hitting instructors have the same or very similar kind of working knowledge of what a good swing is. And we're talking in the context of, paid instructors. So he says that, and then some old-timers that have been on the website many years, most of them, a number of guys in kind of consensus fashion came in and said something along the lines of, well, yeah, it would be logical and rational, to think that, but the reality is that's not true. It's not true at all. The fact is, what they were saying, which was, the fact is that there's all kinds of hitting instructors with all kinds of information, and it's, in effect, it's all over the board, so to speak. Lots of theories, lots of philosophies, lots of opinions, and so forth. And from my vantage point, I certainly agree with those guys, the old-timers. And from my vantage point, having looked at literally hundreds of hitting instructors, I would basically argue that based on that experience of looking at hundreds of hitting instructors and the material, there's very few that understand the swing really, really well. Now, you may find that hard to believe, and certainly when I've talked to people call me up and want to kind of know a little bit about me. Many times, we'll get to the point of the conversation where I essentially say, look, I'm very sympathetic to your plight here. As a dad or a mom trying to help their son or daughter, there's all this information out there, and kind of how do you guys choose? How do you know how to choose? You're not biomechanical, physiological, functional anatomy kinds of experts. Typically, most people don't have a terribly good understanding of the swing. Why would they? They're not hitting instructors. So they're out there looking at all this information, trying to figure out how to choose the information. And, as I've said many times in talking to people in that context, I say, look, you're talking to me now, but you don't really know me from Adam. How do you know what I know? How do you know if what I know is any good? You really don't. So, and of course, the conversation is going to turn on me, trying to help them understand certain aspects of what I teach versus what other people teach and so forth, my background and so on, and in an attempt to kind of say, to some extent, kind of try to educate them to understand, kind of what and these guys, somebody on it was Baseball Fever was the website, and these guys were saying, no, it's not true that there's a kind of a general working knowledge that most hitting instructors know. That's not the reality. So, what I'm going to try to do here with some of the YouTube stuff is essentially help people to the extent I possibly can, help them better understand some of the fundamental aspects of what a good swing is versus flawed swings, and go about helping people better understand how to choose an instructor. Obviously, I want you to choose me as an instructor, but as I said years ago on a post on another hitting website, I said, look, basically, you don't have to choose me. Don't choose me. I was coming in and writing about some stuff, basically saying, look, the hitting instructor that you're talking about, here's some of the flaws that they have, and I'm just simply telling you what they are. I'm not saying you have to come to me necessarily. I want you to, but look at it as I'm kind of providing a type of consumer reports. I'm grading out this particular individual. I have no animus towards the guy. I'm just simply telling you what I consider the facts on the ground as regards to what this particular hitting instructor knew. And I was trying to help this person better understand some of the factors that go into better understanding how to choose a hitting instructor. So I'm going to try to do that with some of the YouTube stuff, of course, and certainly on my website at Englishbey.com. There's all kinds of information on that website that are, I think certainly designed to help people understand numerous aspects of the swing and how to teach it. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, and I'll continue to put stuff up here at YouTube and on my website in various places. So stay tuned.